Welcome to another Optimity webinar, where we are exploring exciting topics in health innovation, cutting-edge technologies, and living well. You are joined by hundreds of people like yourself who are interested in learning more about employee health and wellness. Welcome. So for this month's webinar, we wanted to spread the importance of incorporating an effective workplace wellness program that focuses on engaging employees through worksite health promotion activities and lifestyle choices. And I'm your host, Tasneem, welcoming you to this community webinar on the important topic of employee engagement. Here with me to chat about this topic is our CEO, Jane. Thanks for joining me today and sharing some of our best practices. Welcome.
Hello, Taz.
Hi. All right, sounds good. So a little bit of background about us and our professional experience. Jane spent almost a decade in health management with patients from clinical research. Her expertise are in adherence and helping patients prevent adverse events with daily micro interactions. And I'm Tasneem. I'm a wellness advisor at Optimity, creating content for specialized topics for our clients to address chronic health issues. My background is in health policy, and I'm passionate about health equity. My dream is to eliminate social and economic barriers that restrict someone from getting access to the right information and care to obtain their optimal health. As the hundreds of guests arrive, I want to take a moment to go over some housekeeping items to give you the best webinar experience. Please connect to audio using your computer's microphone and speakers, or select telephone after joining the webinar to turn on sound. And as always, all guest lines are muted to avoid background noise. If you have any questions, please type it in and we will get back to you after the webinar. After the webinar, the slides and recording will be sent out to you to share with others. There are two handouts from this session that are downloadable in the Tools section. Both of them are a report by Aon, which demonstrates the importance of engagement in the workplace. The first one focuses on how employers can be successful by focusing on employee engagement, and the second one is on using engagement as a retaining employees. Now that we've gone over our ground rules, let's begin. At Optimity, we provide a dynamic wellness tool to engage people like yourself in achieving optimal health. In fact, Optimity means the state of being best. We provide a mobile app that is personalized to you, your job function, your gender, as well as your own health goals. We support you with a robust and holistic health content library spanning everything from physical exercise, nutrition, mental health, to financial wellness. We also recommend activities to you based on other people like yourself, so people with similar jobs, personalities, and goals. You can access the Pocket Coach via any mobile device or via our website. It is a pocket health coach that syncs with your calendar. It gives you small, fun challenges, which earns you improvements in health and awareness, also gets you points for rewards. And of course, a lot of bragging rights. The reason we provide webinars is because we want to help address some key issues in proactive health coaching, such as low participation, poor adherence, and no adaptation of the program based on the person you are. We provide a fully integrated health coaching solution that turns raw data into insights and helpful daily tips. And we have achieved over 77% participation in 2016 and 2017. Our weekly adherence rate is averaged at 43%, which means people are able to use technology consistently and change their lives and habits bit by bit, every day, every week, leading to better health. We adapt the program to popular topics and your interests on the go. So today, we will be sharing our knowledge and giving you useful tips on employee engagement that you can take back with you to your organization and use yourself, even if you don't yet have Optimity. On today's agenda, we will share facts on championing employee success, defining what it is and how to achieve it, why traditional benefits aren't enough, why employee engagement should be a top priority for employers, top 3 ways to encourage employee success and engagement in the workplace, and how technology can increase employee engagement. So Jane, do you want to tell us more about employee engagement and how to champion employee success?
Sure, sounds good. So let's start with the fact that you are already part of a great company and you have already attracted and hired great talent. So those of you sitting there are kind of like me, right? So we all need to continue to invest in our employees. And because if these employees are happy and successful, then we can really see results in overall business. And employee success is a relatively new practice, and it's really defined as employees who feel a sense of personal achievement, professional achievement, and also a sense of belonging to the overall company. So employee success really starts with their onboarding. You want to share the vision and bring them into your culture. The top 3 ways that we can really boost success of your employees is first, sharing the vision. As an employer, when you take the time to regularly share your company's vision and direction, you're really letting the employees feel excited about their work because they can now connect it to the overall goal of the group. They'll feel energized when completing the day-to-day work, and that will help them have a better overall vision of what their department and company wants to achieve and their role in contributing to company's overall success. Which brings me to my second point, which is encourage job ownership. How do you get employees to feel successful at their work? Well, I guess you encourage them to own their job. And it doesn't matter what position they hold, be it a very senior rep or a very junior intern. The important part is that all employees should feel that their work and contribution is very valuable to the company. And it's important to trust your employees with the ability to make the right decisions and to do an overall good job in their position. So the last point that I do want to mention is building team unity. Individual success is great, but if you really want the company to be successful, the company needs to also foster team unity. As at the time now, we have lots of people working remotely. We have people working from multiple geographies, different time zones. It's really important to connect the whole community. So initiating activities that brings a team together, this could be in person or even social interactions through apps. This is just a matter of employee preference, but for you, it helps them bond with each other socially and strengthen their professional relationships as a result of getting them energized and excited to be part of a greater whole in terms of a community. So I want to talk a lot about benefits because we get a lot of these questions as well. What does your benefits look like? Well, if it's similar to most traditional benefits programs, it probably includes retirement or pension plans, some health care, paid time off, has maternity leave. And I think these are very, very important and they're great. And it's not, only useful because it helps you attract the right employees to your company and also helps them take care of their family and their needs. But sometimes it doesn't hold any strength when it comes to retaining employees. When looking at a study conducted by Mercer called Inside Employees' Mind, it shows the results of the survey that they completed over 4,000 employees, and it identified the key position that valued by the employees. So it's actually these following. So pay is number 1. Number 2 is benefits, career engagement, leadership, performance. If you see 40% of your employees are currently thinking about leaving their jobs, even though that they offer great benefits packages, the package itself is really seen as as almost everyone has it, right? So it's not something that will keep them at their jobs. So oddly enough, there really isn't any concrete studies that can testify that traditional benefits alone can retain and engage employees in their work. However, there's an abundance of evidence that supports the value of workplace wellness programs. To be clear, the benefits in the wellness programs are not interchangeable. They provide 2 very different purposes and they serve very different needs, but you can easily incorporate wellness programs into your benefits programs. And the recent trend that we're seeing more and more with companies, they're working with digital wellness programs because it can really maximize the help that they could get with the money that they spend. So it's a really good ROI. So to putting it blankly, benefits are really essential in attracting, but definitely do very little for retaining. And wellness programs have a lot of real benefits when it comes to employees. So the first thing we're going to do here is kind of go through a engagement in practice. We're going to talk about certain personas. So meet John. Okay, so John is your 43-year-old employee. He's been working with you for you for the last 4 years, and John has always gotten his tasks done by deadline. It's typically done very well with very minor adjustments to be made. He comes to all the staff meetings, and he's always smiling and getting along with everyone. So as John's employer, do you think John's happy with his work life, and is he engaged? I'm going to put a poll up and see what you guys think. Very good. So most of you gotten this right, over half of you. You definitely need more information about what's happening with John, because we haven't really gotten to the crux of how he's feeling. So firstly, how can you tell if he's engaged? Well, what are some of the questions that you would ask when you're thinking about assessing whether or not John's engaged? Well, first of all, you may want to think about, is John contributing ideas? Is he going above and beyond for his clients, his colleagues? Is he trying to improve the business operations beyond his roles every day? Does he feel that his role is connected to the overall company's mission? Does he know about the company's mission? Does he buy into it? And does he teach others within the company to help them grow as well? So I'm going to give you a little bit more about John. I'm going to redo the poll. Well, although John is part of a senior team lead, because he lives further from the office, he often clocks out early, so around 4:30. He's also quite competent at his job, and he gets along well with everyone, but he doesn't bring up any new ideas. He never led a workshop on teaching others in his team, and because he never wants to be replaced, he wants his skill to be unique. He tells his friends that working at company ABC is okay, but he doesn't know what they really do besides make products. He's generally happy with his lifestyle, and he likes the benefits for his family. But when a recruiter reaches out to him, he was happy to take some interviews and was interested to see what else is out there that could be more interesting. So now, based on that, what do you think? So in this case, oh, we're not able to repoll, but that's okay. In this case, we can see that he's actually disengaged. The difference between disengagement and active disengagement we will also define here. We can see that he's clearly disengaged because it shows us that his happiness is not equal to engagement. Although John is happy, he's not fully engaged with his work because he doesn't fully understand how it contributes to his overall organization's goal. And he's not unlike other people within the organization. According to the Gallup Management Journal, which is published semi-annually, when we were looking at the Employment Engagement Index, only 29% of employees are actively engaged. 45% of the employees are not engaged, so similar to John. So they're checked out, they're kind of sleepwalking, they're doing the minimum. And then 26% of the employees are actively disengaged. So John, in this case, is not actively disengaged because he's not openly voicing his unhappiness, and he's not trying to undermine other coworkers. However, as you can see, he's happy to take other opportunities and to explore other employment opportunities. When we look into other studies around engagement, such as the one here, in this graph, you can see how employee engagement affect overall performance. So the work unit in the top quartile of the employee engagement outperform the bottom quartile by 10% on customer ratings, 17% on productivity, 20% in sales, which is super interesting, and 21% in profitability. The work units in the top quartile also saw significantly less turnover, so 24% in the high turnover organization, and 59% in the low turnover organization, shrinkage, absenteeism, and fewer safety incidents as well. So this meta-analysis verifies once again that employee engagement relates to each of the 9 performance outcomes studied. So Gallup also finds that there's a strong correlation between engagement and performance and is highly consistent across the different organizations in the diverse industries and regions of the world. So the employee engagement side could look very different from the employer perspective than from the employees. Employees feel like they're engaged when they understand their role in the organization. And really, for them, employee engagement means that getting up in the morning and thinking, great, I'm going to work. I know what I'm going to do today. I've got some great ideas on how I'm going to do it really well. I'm looking forward to seeing the team, and I'm looking forward to helping them work well today. Right? So for them, the employee engagement side is about having a clear understanding of how organization is fulfilling its purpose and objectives, how it's really changing lives of the people that it impacts with its services or products, and how to fulfill it better. So how to change the journey. It's about being included fully as a member of the team, being focused on clear goals, being trusted, and being able to develop new skills and be thanked and recognized for the personal achievement. So if engagement does not equal employee happiness, then right, what is the relationship here? Why would we care about that? So an engaged employee would go beyond just getting the work tasks done. They want to dive deeper. They usually want to make deeper impacts on the organizational structure, and they're emotionally committed to the organization. So instead of getting a 9-to-5 employee, you're going to get someone who is really thinking deeper about the job function and having a stronger business impact. So we talk about those employees as the multiplier versus the people that just show up and do their jobs. When we look at the other studies on the ROI of employee engagement, you can see that the company with low engagement scores earn an operating income of 32.7% lower than the company with more engaged employees. Similarly, companies with higher engagement workforce experience a 19.2% growth in operating income over the 12 months period. So if any of you are looking for different concrete evidence to see why investing in certain team build or certain different types of activities is important from the company perspective, we're happy to share these studies. And I think there's 2 that's downloadable already in the handout section. When we look at profitability and attrition, there's a study done to determine the level of engagement of 50,000 employees and its direct impact on both employee performance and retention. And it revealed that the engaged companies is growing profits as much as 3 times faster than their competitor, and that the highly engaged employees are 87% less likely to leave the organization. So when focusing on customer loyalty, productivity, and turnover, when optimizing engagement, you can really find that the engaged employees will give you 2 times higher customer loyalty, 2 times higher productivity, and 2 times lower turnover. Another way to really fathom the importance of employee engagement is to look at how much it will cost the employer if ignored. A disengaged employee costs an organization approximately $3,400 for every $10,000 on annual salary. So that's about 34% of their annual salary. So overall, disengaged employees is costing the economy about $350 billion a year from their loss of productivity. So if companies like yours and mine would really want to boost their productivity and profitability and slash attrition and disengagement losses, we have to engage the employees. So you now probably are wondering, how do we really go about doing that? And Tasnee has prepared some really wonderful material, and she's going to be sharing some of our experience and the top 3 tips that you can implement into your organization to increase employee engagement.
Well, thanks for that, Jane. So employee engagement is about positive attitudes and behaviors leading to improved business outcomes in a way that trigger and reinforce one another. So for example, at Best Buy, they felt that it was important to harness the energy of their employees, since many of the employees felt like their opinions didn't matter much to management, and therefore they weren't committed to doing quality work. Best Buy tackled this issue by building a plan based on their ideas. The approach was simple, to have the employees feel like they were more than just workers. They were there to, and not just there to get their tasks done. The Gallup report shows that the Best Buy's engagement levels were good, but they weren't great. What Best Buy ranked low in was 2 particular metrics. Their employees felt that their opinions didn't seem to count and that their fellow colleagues were not committed to doing quality work. So what did Best Buy do? They organized actions that were consistent with their organization's value. It was about keeping promises or having an explanation when they cannot be kept. When they started to focus on the employees feeling pride and loyalty working for them, that's when they saw engagement go up and better relationship with their customers. So this brings me back to employee success. Employee success is a great start to aligning the vision and your culture towards one's engagement. You're building a community of owners who share the same vision. They are building deep connections on a professional and personal level, and you're helping structure the process so that you can find early wins where they can share common interests and goals. Notice how traditional benefits are not part of this picture. Engagement is not about the money spent, but about the deeper connections in the community you are building. I'm going to share the following top 3 tips on how to engage employees. The first one is health and wellness. If you want to have a staff full of engaged employees, you've got to take steps yourself to help them remain happy and healthy. Wellness is important for any professional, yet stress and other life factors can sometimes get in the way and cause people to neglect exercise and healthy eating habits. In the end, it stands to reason why so many businesses have issues with engagement. It's a product of modern society. So go have lunch with your coworkers. Have lunch with those that report to you. We're humans. We all like food, and we do it socially. So get social and have some fun with the people you work with. There's a lot you can learn about people and yourself based on what they eat. Give people what they want on mobile where they can take it on the go. Bring them together into a community experience. From the admin side, you can easily control which goals you want your employees to focus on. You can even create your own by adding a new goal. Holistic approach is important. In practice, over the last 4 years of working with different types of clients, we developed a huge library content with over 3,000 activities, ranging from a wide variety of health and wellness topics, such as physical, mental, financial, to habit training. My second tip is about learning and development. As your employees are your employees reaching their full potential? Well, according to a poll that asked over 4,300 employees, 76% felt that they were not achieving their full potential at work. So, what can you do as employers to start engaging your employees? Well, you can provide the right learning and development opportunities. But how do you determine which learning and development opportunities are right for your employees? The key is to stop wasting money on ineffective training programs and start approaching learning and development initiatives with a new, creative outlook designed to boost employee engagement. There are leading tech companies that are stepping up their learning and development opportunities to successfully engage employees. One example is Adobe. Adobe focuses on learning and development opportunities through its Learning at Adobe program. With the use of their own product, Adobe Connect, and other resources, they are able to offer a wide portfolio of e-learning tools. For Adobe, it's all about the quality of content, and we can understand why. Since when people are engaged, they have more drive and motivation. By providing them with learning and development tools, you are able to engage employees who have built a strong muscle for learning. As an employer, you need to give them opportunities to exercise these muscles and build them. One way we keep our employees engaged is by providing them with healthy challenges that allow them to build new healthy habits and win rewards for completing these challenges. There are so many things you can work on when it comes to improving your overall health habits. Unlike traditional wellness programs, digital platforms allow you to select and turn on new activities that are associated to your goals. It's as simple as choosing the activity pack and turning it on. People who are engaged have built a strong muscle for learning. You must give them opportunities to exercise these muscles and build them. This brings me to my third point: empower your employees. Beyond empowering employees, put them in a position of influence and see how they react and engage in their new role. Stimulating engagement is a two-way street. It's not just how employees gravitate towards their leaders, but how others gravitate towards them. Allow your employees to discover their own potential and put them to test. Witness how they lead and collaborate with others. If you micromanage employees too much, they disengage. Employees want to feel trusted and valued for the independent decisions they can make and impact they can create. The most engaged employers are those whose leaders have confidence in them, who trust that they can always be depended to deliver when called upon. Employees are most engaged when they feel a sense of responsibility towards their leaders and the examples their performance sets for others. This is accelerated when they are placed in roles of influence and responsibility. We believe in developing healthy habits and motivating others to do so. With our mobile app, you can recognize and give kudos to your coworkers for having exceptionally great healthy habits. Here I have 3 examples from the app of activities that relate to best practice techniques for employees that both focus on building a stronger relationship with colleagues, because there are studies that prove employees who have a strong relationship with their colleagues can boost employee satisfaction by 50% and are 7 times more likely to engage fully in their work. Now that you have the tools to start implementing initiatives to increase employee engagement, or you may even currently be running some initiatives, but they're not quite getting the results you were hoping they would, you might be wondering where you went wrong. You implemented a wellness and engagement program in an attempt to reduce costs. Most companies are struggling to turn good intentions into good results. Like we mentioned, the average engagement rate is only about 30%, and many organizations do not have the capability to track metrics or ROI. So you might be wondering, how can a company with the will to make a positive change actually make it happen? Gone are the days when in-person initiatives provide the results you're hoping to achieve. Not only are they expensive, they're also time-consuming for employers to plan, implement, and track. So what's next? Well, it's simple. You look to technology. You know it's effective. We're living in the age where, as humans, we look to technology for everything. So we also utilize it for our employee wellness programs? We look to apps for easy convenience like ratings and reviews for restaurants and for quick and easy delivery. So why not have the same convenience for your organization by using a technology-based wellness program? It makes the most sense. You'll get the best value for your dollar if you implement a digital wellness program that focuses on employee engagement. And here's why. With the digital wellness program, you no longer have to worry about scheduling time for in-person events or neglecting your shift workers or remote workers. Participation with traditional in-person events is a lot lower, and tracking your initiatives becomes tedious. However, with a digital approach, you provide your employees with an effective, personalized coaching tool that lets you choose which aspects of your life you want to focus on and when they want to focus on it. You get to include all segments of your population and increase social communication between coworkers, even the remote ones. With technology, you make the wellness experience a lot smoother for both the employees and employers. So Jane, do you want to share some insights you've seen with organizations you've worked with?
Sure, I'm happy to. And I think you're right on the money, Taz. A lot of times, especially this year, we're really finding a lot of organizations that's kind of doing a lot of things by using spreadsheets or they're doing it by hand. So they do a lot of initiatives and they're kind of moving from engagement or wellness 1.0, so from in-person like team builds to a way that they can track data. So I think the first step for most companies is finding a provider or someone who could help them offer a dynamic and a modern way to deal with some more modern issues. And then the rise of artificial intelligence also enables us to be contextually aware so that the user can actually access it wherever they are, be it at home, not during work time, or when they're on the go and they're doing things that they love, right? So a lot of these are kind of actually used to suit our end users are most often the employees. But on the employer side, you get to see all of the benefits, right? You get to see the benefits in improved productivity, reduction of health costs. We see a lot of reduction of pain medication. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We have a full webinar talking about pain management, so I think that's interesting. And then building a stronger culture, attracting and retaining talent, and boosting morale. And that's why we're giving more information around engagement. We see a lot of use cases even in our application to use the more community aspects. So announcements and segments and specific segmented like targeted message is really the high usage of features for this year. The modernization of a workforce also means kind of the modernization of how you're training this workforce. I think employee success is a really nice way to holistically think about how you're training them, not only on habits, eating well, sleeping well, exercising, but also just getting them into the habit of making small changes in their lives every day and be able to interact with those around them. And those changes, because also we're in this modern era of Twitter-sized messages, people have very short attention spans, need to be micro. So a lot of our content has been, all of it's referencing a lot of scientific studies, but it's not written in the same way, the drier ways that it's done. It's all very short. They're 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. They're all micro activities. We're finding that these activities, although very small, build into large things because people often engage with them and they use them more. So being aware of all these types of learning, micro learning, is a really smart way of interacting with the modern employees. And then the last part is really utilizing the admin control as a centralized hub that helps you manage everything. It helps you manage the content, get some insights into your population analytics, get some understanding of the ROI measurements if you guys are measuring any health costs or engagement or how many people are actually participating. These are the platform does it for you automatically. As an employer, you get to see the real-time data on the engagement of your employees in real time, and it provides you with real-time insights on what's happening with them, especially through different types of challenges that you're allowing them to engage in. When you look at a lot of the other solutions that are out there, we learned from them a lot, but I do want to talk about them a little bit so that you can avoid them if you're only thinking about doing one factor. So for example, if you're doing incentivized wellness portals, you may not want to, it may only give you these little humps. So the humps themselves are when you give them incentives, but then when the incentives are gone, the usage drops down to below 10%. And if you're just thinking about a health app, and I don't recommend just implementing a health app without a admin backend or without an AI engine, because the content does not adapt or change to people as they develop as humans, it becomes more of a fad. So it goes up and then it comes right back down. So you don't get that continuous usage. And then we do have a lot of clients that have invested in buying wearables for their population. So you will find that, yes, a lot of people will use it right away. There will be always a proportion of people that don't use it because they don't trust the data or something like that. But then after the first, second, third charge of the wearable, we do see drop off for that. So if you're only implementing a wearable without a overall program, you're again not going to see a lot of long-term ROI, especially after your first 4 months. And then the last part, which is still kind of the standard for most companies, is the classroom coaching. I do believe in classroom coaching. We do a lot of webinars, but I also think they need to be followed up with a structural program, because after only a few days after, if we don't follow up, people forget them. People do not implement them, and this does not build habits. So if you look at our program, it's drastically different from that. And if you actually look at all the different other programs, it's really building on the experience and the learning of all these other great programs built for a very good purpose. But we're machine learning enabled, so the content changes as a person, right? Like a 25-year-old female will see a very different content set to a 47-year-old male with 2 kids. So it really adapts to the person. And it also syncs to their calendars. So it gives us a lot more context about when they're busy or not busy. So do they have the mind space to train and to understand? And of course, we connect to so many apps and wearables, over 300 to 400 of them. So it really helps people as they get new devices. And the really important thing is sustainably engaging. So most of the program themselves, we offer a lot of content, but the structure and the strategy comes from the HR team and from people that manage the culture of the company. And what we love to talk about in terms of engagement is that this year people are really getting into the employee success and offering holistic content, everything from we've seen things around boosting sales confidence to having team organizations, and our kudos, having allowing people to nominate each other for peer recognition has been also very welcomed. So I do think that's a very interesting trend that's happening across some of the wellness platforms. So as we do wellness as a core, we of course track health state. So we look at where people are at the beginning of their journey, and then of course we look at them again at 90 days, 180 days, a year later. We use a health risk assessment, so it's also a dynamic measure. So we're measuring them and we're seeing how they're coping in terms of stress level, energy, posture, activity level, hydration, positive thinking, and then also adapting useful breaks. So if you look at our overall results, and we published a number of case studies, we really look at the benefits in terms of quantifiable benefits, reduced benefits cost, reduced claims cost, changes in short-term, long-term disability. And we're really finding that the ROI is quite positive on people who are implementing wellness programs. As we already quoted a lot of studies that are finding similar things. And we really work on improving the operational efficiency as well, so getting more effect for the dollars and the time that you put in. So the program is very easy to manage. We saved on Centers of Excellence, Ontario Centers of Excellence, over 200 hours in 2016. And this is really kind of the stat across so many of our clients now. So we're really running a lot more successful programs, really high engagement, sometimes 7 times higher than their previous year's engagement, and then tracking what's happening to the actual claims costs, which is tracking the human impact of the wellness program. So controlling that whole thing holistically, but thinking about things strategically. So Optimity as employee success is really helping employees make healthier choices, train their habits every day, have a personalized journey in this, and then as an organization about tracking the better productivity measures and attrition. Taz, I'm going to pass it back to you to summarize what we talked about and summarize the takeaways as well.
All right, thanks. So let's summarize what we went through together today. We talked about the importance of why traditional benefits aren't as important, or just not alone anyways. What does employee success look like? What is employee engagement? And our top 3 best practice tips. So it was invest in your employees, health and wellness, learning and development, and empowering your employees. And we also talked about the use of technology to manage a healthy lifestyle. If you're interested in learning more about creating a healthy workplace campaign and engagement strategy, please reach out to us at engage@myoptimity.com or to me directly at taslim@myoptimity.com. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.